Salvete! Hello dear Latinists, welcome to another intermediate video. I have now for you another short story, a short passage. This one's called The First Roman Naval Victory. So this is pertaining to an event in Roman history. And as usual, I'm going to display the text in 4 short sections. When the first one comes, pause it, have a go at translating it yourself, then unpause and I'll read the Latin, and then we'll go through it bit by bit, and hopefully that will be very helpful for you. So if you already know the basics, declensions, tenses, conjugations, and you have some idea of Roman syntax, then have a go at this. Alright, so without further ado, the first Roman naval victory. The first section should appear on your screen, and please pause when it doesn't, have a go at translating it. Alright, let's read together, guys. Romani terra poeni mari omnium tum populorum potentissimi erant. Itaque in hoc bello Romani maxima difficultate tenebantur, quod poeni plurimas naves ipsi nullas omnino habebant. So this is, the date given is 261 BC, and it's the Carthaginian War, the Carthaginians, the Punic War from North Africa, first great international war that the Romans engaged in. And let's see what is said here. So the subject of the first sentence is the Romani, the Romans. Romani errant, imperfect tense, they were. Potentissimi, superlative adjective, most powerful, the most powerful. Tum, at that time, adverb. Omnium populorum, genitive, of all people or of all nations. So the Romans. Terra, this is a kind of ablative or possibly even a locative, which is indicating a place, an old locative which existed in the older Latin language, we're told, which place where. So on ground, basically, on the earth, on the ground. Poini, those the Punics, the Carthaginians. Mari, okay, at sea. So the Romans on the ground, the Carthaginians at sea, errant, were the most powerful of all nations at the time. So the Romans were the most powerful on land, and the Carthaginians were most powerful at sea. They had a strong naval force. The Romans at this time didn't. So Romans on land, Carthaginians at sea were at that time, tum, the most powerful of all peoples, of all nations. Itaque, adverb, and so, in hoc bello, ablative, in this war. Romani, the Romans, subject. Tenebantur, imperfect passive verb, were held, literally from teneo tenere, were kept, maxima difficultate, ablative case, in great difficulty. They were held, they were in a situation of great difficulty. Quod, because. Poini, the Punics, the Carthaginians. Plurimas naves, accusative, many ships. Ipsi, that's going back to the Romans. Nullas omnino habebant. So because the Carthaginians had many ships, the Romans themselves, ipsi, nullas, as in nullas naves. They've not repeated the naves, it's understood. Nullas, omnino is an adverb meaning at all, altogether. So, and thus the Romans in this war were held in great difficulty, literal translation, because the Carthaginians had, imperfect tense at that time, many ships. They themselves, the Romans, had none at all. Nullas omnino. So, there you go, that's your first section. How did you do, guys? Was that alright? Hopefully not too tricky. I think sometimes it's just a little bit difficult where they assume you know the words. So they didn't repeat the naves, but you've got to know that the nullas is your accusative plural, and what else have we got that's accusative plural? The naves. So you've got to be able to match them up in that sense. Right, well done the first section. Next part's coming up. Pause it, have a go. Alright. Hac de rei, mira fabula in historia narratur. Una enavibus punicis, in orum Italiae vento repulsa erat. Statim Romani, aliam navum eustem formae, mox alias naves edificabant. Tandem magnum classem habebant. Alright, I think this section's maybe a little easier. Hac de rei. So if you've not seen this before, you just need to kind of unravel the word order. The preposition is de, which means about or concerning, and it's followed by the ablative. So if we reordered it and said de hac rei, rei is from res, R-E-S, meaning thing or matter. Hac is the ablative from hic. Concerning this matter, about this matter, that's all it means, all right? But they like to put the preposition often in the middle. They find it more elegant. Hac de rei, de hac rei. Concerning this matter, about this thing, mira fabula, a strange or wonderful story, fable, tale, in historia narrator, present passive story is told in history. So a strange or a fabulous story is told in history. Una e navibus, one of the ships. Notice the way they use a or ex to mean of the. One of the ships, one of the Punic or Carthaginian ships. In oram Italiae vento repulsa erat. So that's pluperfect passive. One of the Punic ships had been driven, repulsa, in plus accusative, into or to the coast, the shore of Italy. So it had been pushed or driven to the Italian shore. Vento, what case is that, guys? Ablative, all right, from ventus, by the wind. Instrumental ablative of cause. Okay, so it was one of the Punic ships had been driven to the shore, ashore, by the wind. Statim, immediately, adverb. Romani, the Romans, subject. Aliam navem, eustem formae. So, accusative, another ship. Eustem means of the same, from idem is genitive singular. Eustem formae, so forma, feminine noun, so genitive, of the same shape, of the same form. Mox soon, alias naves, other ships, verb edificabant, they build, or maybe began building. So at once the Romans began building, another ship of the same form or shape, genitive, soon other ships. All right, so they basically replicated the Carthaginian ship they'd found, then they proceeded to build even more ships. We have a colon, and then tandem, adverb, finally, at length, at last, magnum classem habebant. They had, in perfect tense at that time, a great fleet. Classis, feminine, third declension. Right, they had a great fleet. All right, so fairly straightforward, I think, that section. Let's now have a go at the third section. Pause when it appears, guys. Okay. Tum mari quoque compoinis bellum gesserunt. Gaius Duilius maximum sibi famam comparavit, quod primus omnium ducum Romanorum victoriam mari propimailas reportavit. Right, how did you do with this? Tum, at that time, then, adverb. Mari quoque, also at sea. So that's ablative or maybe an old locative. From mare is a neuter, M-A-R-E, think maritime. Neuter noun of the declension. Genitive would be maris. So mari, then also at sea. Cum poenis, with the Carthaginians. Bellum gesserunt, that's perfect tense from gero gerere. Bellum gerere is a nice phrase to learn. It means to wage war. So the subject is, of course, the Romans. It's not explicit. Then, also at sea, they, the Romans, waged war, bellum gesserunt, with Poenis, with the Carthaginians of North Africa. Colon. Gaius Duilius, maximum sibi famam comparavit. Gaius Duilius is a subject, that's his name. Comparavit, perfect tense, comparavit, to acquire, gain. Maximum famam, the greatest fame, repute. Sibi, for himself, that's dative, always going back to the subject of the sentence. So Gaius Duilius acquired, gained for himself, Sibi, great or the greatest fame or reputation, renown, quod, because, conjunction, primus, he, the first, omnium ducum. What's ducum, guys? D-U-C-U-M. It's genitive plural from dux, D-U-X, the declension noun. Leader, maybe general here. So he's the first of all generals, Romanorum, of all Roman generals, another genitive. Victoriam reportavit, he achieved a victory, brought back a victory, literally. At sea, locative, marry, prope Mylas, so that's a place nearby, close to Mylas, I think that's how you say it. So Gaius Duilius acquired great fame for himself because he was the first of all the Roman generals to bring back a victory at sea, a naval victory, you may translate it that way, at Mylas, that's the place. Well done, guys, if you're getting this. And let's do the final section. So should appear anytime now. All right, let's read. Navium captarum rostris forum orna verunt. Haec rostra columnum rostratum vocabant. Duilio ipsi maximus honor acivibus datus est. Nam quotiens noctu ad suum domicilium comeabat. Tibicine seum cum tidis deducebant. All right. So we start Navium captarum. Hopefully you've recognised that as a genitive plural. We've got, it comes from navis, which is a ship, feminine noun, and captarum from captus, which is the past participle, having been captured. So of the captured ships, rostris forum orna verunt. Right, another situation where we've not got an explicit subject. So we look at the verb. You should recognise the verunt as being an absolute sign of the perfect tense. They did. They decorated. They decorated the forum. They is, of course, the Romans. They decorated the forum, ablative, with the rostris from rostrum. That's the beak of a ship. So the front on the prow, the very front section of the ship, the protective part, I believe. I don't know much about sailing, but I think they had them on the ships. So the Romans decorated their forum, you know, the market square, the political centre in Rome, with the beaks of the captured ships. So ablative, with the, by means of, instrumental, then genitive of the ships. Haec rostra, vocabans. So these beaks they called the columnum rostratum, the column of beaks, basically. That's the name for it. So they gave it that name. Duilio ipsi, right, what case have we got there for? So you have to be able to really spot the cases straight away. That's when you know you've really properly thoroughly learnt your declensions, when you can do this. And you need to be able to do it in order to be able to read with any speed and success. It's dative, ipsi, dative. So 2 or 4 Duilius himself. This is the first general to win a naval victory for the Romans. 2 or 4 him himself. Maximus honor acivibus datus est. So datus from dare, to give, perfect tense, passive. Great, the greatest honor was given to Duilius himself, acivibus from civis, this is ablative, by the citizens. Whenever you've got a passive, if something's done by somebody, it's expressed by ablative case, introduced by a or ab. So the greatest honor was given by the citizens to Duilius himself. Nam, for. This is explaining what came before. It's giving us an explanation. Nam, quotiens, each time, as often as, noctu, adverb, at night, ad suum domicilium comeabat, comeare is to go, and it's imperfect tense, so it's a regular repeated action in the past. 4, each time he would return, go back to his domicile, his home at night. Tibikines, flute players, flautists. Eum, him, accusative. Dedukebant, they would escort, lead him. Come with tides, with torches, from Tida. Torches, all right? So, to Duilius himself, the greatest honour was accorded by the citizens. 4, each time. Every time he would at night return or go to his home, flute players, flautists would accompany him with their torches, okay? Would escort him, perhaps, escort him home by torchlight. So there we go. Nice, interesting passage based on what we're told of Roman history and this famous naval victory against the Carthaginians with Duilius. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I hope it's been useful to you. And even if there were a few bits that were difficult, well, that's just part of the learning process. Hopefully I've managed to clear them up for you. You've learned some new vocabulary, and just perhaps make a note of those, any tricky sentences or grammatical points or new vocab to help you move forward. Any questions at all about if there's anything there that was difficult or you've not quite understood my explanation, feel very free to put a comment, and I'll do my best to answer it and explain more fully for you. So that's it for our intermediate reading passage today. Thanks for joining me, guys, and see you next time.